All right, we are live. Okay, sounds good. Okay, we're live. So if y'all on Facebook and y'all want to tag, y'all can. We are live. Let me have. Want to say good afternoon and once again, welcome to one of the hottest talk shows on Hallelujah 95.3. Hey, that's right. If you want to go ahead on and say hallelujah for it being the hottest talk show, you got the power, the privilege, and the opportunity to do so. Listen, I want you to go ahead on and call a neighbor, call a friend. I want you to get everybody in because today we talking talk. We're talking talk that's really going to be inspiring. It's going to be challenging and it's going to be mind blowing. You know why? Because what we're talking about is happening on a day-to-day basis. It's in our community, it's in our schools, and it's in our neighborhood. So go ahead on and tag share. I want to say good afternoon to Cedric Sykes. Good afternoon to you. Go ahead on and tag share. Let's get everybody in. Come on in here. Who is that? That's Darren. Hey, Marcus, come on in, man. Have a seat right there, right there, right there. Get on in, get on in. Get on in, get on in. Pull on up, 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 pull on up. Pull on up, bless you. Pull on up, pull on up. So listen, we're talking about the fact of guns. We're talking about education. We're talking about what's happening in our community. And I am so glad to have everybody tuned in. And I'm so glad to have everybody in the studios. And with me is a plethora of outstanding young men in our community who got stories. Not only do they have stories, but they got the wherewithal to be problem solvers. Because anytime you've been a part of the problem, you know what some of the solutions are. And one of the things that I am grateful for is the fact that, one, I know what it means to tear the fabric of a community apart, but I also know what it means to weave those fabrics back together. And we are experiencing a lot of fabrics that are being torn apart in our neighborhoods, family dynamics, gun violence, teen pregnancy, you name it, it's happening. But today, we're dealing with what's happening. I mean, they call them YNs, but oh my God. And that's dangerous. But let's introduce our guest today. Joining us, he is the founder of Tallahassee Community Helpers, Mr. Jason Jefferson. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Man, I'm great, man. Glad to have you with us today.
I'm glad to be here.
Wonderful. Also, none other than Win-Win Elite. Man, what can I say about this young man? He is definitely a young man who's excited about what it means to help and fulfill the work of men in our community and what it means to be a leader in the community to make a difference, none other than Mr. Leroy Smith. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Man, I'm good, man. Summer is over. I know you had a major program this summer dealing with young men. And how did that go?
Oh, it went great, man. We had 100 kids participating, man. We took the kids on college tours. We exposed them to new opportunities, gave them structure, and it was great.
Wow. Well, you've been able to deal with kids from adolescents on up. You've seen
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Also joining us today is none other than a young man who I admire his heart. I understand. I admire his devotion, his passion for the youth. He's the founder of Pouring Out Success. none other than Marcus Manning. How are you?
I'm doing good, bro. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful. Glad to have you with us today. And one of the things that I know that you've been so adamant about is pouring out success among young men.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's the name, and that's what God gave me right before I went to file for the entity, and that's what we do, man. And like I say, I feed off you and your leadership toward our initiative for people with journeys like us, as far as re-entry.
Wonderful.
As far as not just re-entry, but making sure we do what we can to help each other have a successful re-entry.
Absolutely.
Society.
Wonderful. So listen, we're going to get ready to introduce. I'm so excited to have this young man with us. His story is one that we're going to talk about a little more. But at the age of 14, entered into the system and did almost what?
32.
Speak into that mic so they can hear you.
32 years.
32 years in the system and has a plethora of ideas, insight from 14 to what?
46.
From 14 to 46. And these are the stories. These are the lives. These are the men that I feel like are the solution to the problem. Brother Akins, we're glad to have you with us. And not only am I glad to have you with us, but I'm glad to have you as a young man who don't mind sharing your journey and sharing what that journey has done for you and how your experience of being incarcerated for 32 years can help others to understand. You missed a whole lot of years.
Yes, sir.
How did it feel?
Like I always say, the journey is just as important as the destination. So I'm glad to be back in the community, ready to get started and do what I need to do to try to help the youth. It's a blessing to be here.
Wonderful. I like that. The journey is just as important as the destination. Wow. What do you say about that, Jason?
Sound good. It's a statement. One thing I can say, it's just like he said, the journey. If we start these journeys, there's a lot of lives can be saved out here. Right now, it's a lot of kids that's out here lost. It's a lot of fatherless kids out here, and that's what we in the community trying to do these days, just trying to save the youth. So I feel like if we all pull together, and one thing about it, it's going to take somebody from the community to save the community.
Oh man, say that.
Yeah, it's going to take somebody from the community, somebody that has been through it, that went through this, to tell this kid don't do it. You can have people that's out there that haven't went through nothing to tell the kids, but they're not going to listen to the kids. I'm going to tell them people. So I just feel like if the people, which is the people, give us chance to do what we need to do in the community, it'll be a better place.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, listen, we're going to dive into some things that I feel like are so important, and the reason I feel like they're so important, I was just reading last week about what happened over at the stadium, Cox Stadium, with the gun violence, with the altercations. I was just reading today in the news about what's happening on the campuses of our schools, where they're now finding our students coming to school with guns. I understand that our superintendent is very upset about that. They are now getting ready to go to metal detectors inside of the schools. One of the things that I want to throw out and get some feedback, and I start with you, Leroy, to kind of like kick us off into this discussion. Being that you've been in the school system, you've taught, you've coached, you've done it all in the dean, you've done it all in the school system. What do you feel like when you look at our young men, our young boys who are in that middle school to high school period? What do you feel like is missing that makes them feel or believe that they got to act in a way that makes them a gangster or a thug?
For one, it's more components. It's a lack of positive role models, and supervision, family instability. That's one. Just living in the community with violence. That's another. You know what I'm saying? So, and also mental health challenges. Diagnosed, undiagnosed mental health challenges, where the kids, that they have trauma, they have stress, and so they're gonna, and peer pressure. Everyone wants to be a part of something. So whether it's good or bad, they want to be a part of something. So these are many components that could lead to a kid bringing a gun to school or acting up in school, in my short years or years of teaching. So with that being said, we just need to address these roots of the problem. The roots of these problems, have to give them more family support.
Okay, anybody else want to chime in? I know, Ms. Akins, what's your thought on it? I mean, when you hear what you just said.
I mean, I agree totally. I do realize and believe that we need to reconnect the village. Like they always talk about the village, and I think that we got to start building individual relationships. It's good to be able to step up and say you talk to a group of people or a group of kids, but when you start building individual relationships, then you can start to take them somewhere individual. You start to get them to see and realize just how important it is to be themselves. Because when you talking to the group, like I said, everybody embracing at one time, you're not gonna really get through to them like you really need to. And I know that's the most important thing that we need to do, start building individual relationships. And basically, I got to say, start with parents.
Wow. Wow.
Parents engagement.
Okay, I'm gonna come to you. Darren Mason, man, we're glad to have you. You've been involved in a lot in our community, and certainly when it comes to our young people and our young men, you were certainly active, involved. We're talking about crime, we're talking about education, and mostly we're talking about what's happening now with our young people when we look at our juveniles. What have some of the challenges been for you? And I'm going to come to you. What have been some of the challenges as you work through mentoring, as you work through putting programs together?
Wow. The biggest challenge for me has been the system that's been created of the lack of resources. It bothers me when I hear people say, where are the leaders in the community? Where are the people who are in the trenches? I see them every day. We out here for real. And the issue, the challenge that I have is those that are within power withhold power. And when you are a leader, your number one job is to provide resources back to the people that you're serving. And for me, the biggest challenge has been those people who are in power that have the resources, they are withholding them.
Wow. Your thoughts, Marcus. I mean, you was getting ready to chime in. I want to make sure we got everybody in, so come on up.
I wholeheartedly agree, Brother Mason, because I'm on the ground, so I see. I don't just have a program and not active. I'm on the ground and I see. And I started out soon as I got out. The first weekend I got out, he had me on the pop-up out in the Tacoma over there, in the community over there, right? So and that's where I really like began to just shout and pay attention and try to invest in mentorships and be in the right rooms at the right time. And I see a whole lot of us now when it ain't used to be that. But like you say, we only can do what we can do, because we ain't just relying on parents and using that as an excuse no more. Because Mario, a lot of us come through single parent homes. But what I see by being on the ground is that a lot of the kids have stable homes, but still want to be followers.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Still want to be followers, and that goes when they leave outside the house. You know what I mean? But that's where we come in as mentors. We come in as mentors to say, okay, yeah, them kids, but like you say, back to the village, when we come up, everybody, you know what I'm saying? Your neighbor or whatever, they can get at you. You know what I mean? Versus just your mama, though. You know what I'm saying? But now, with us as mentors, what I see as a problem with us too, because a lot of people say they mentor them, but they ain't giving the kids their undivided attention.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
I want to stick a pin in one word you said. A lot of them are followers, and I really want to challenge all of us to take a look at what we're saying. Let's look at our own lives, and let's look at some of the mistakes that we made. There are 6 men in this room. 4 of the men in this room have been inside a place where they've been told what to do, when to do. Okay? And when we look at our own lives, did you see yourself as one as being a follower, or did you see yourself as one as being a leader? Let's talk a little bit about your life as a young man that brought you to the transformation that you're now experiencing, Jason.
Okay, growing up,
Pull up a little bit so they
one thing I can say, growing up in the household, that's where it really starts at in the household. You can be a follower, but the thing is, what are you getting taught inside of that house? What are your parents teaching you? If they're not teaching you, when you step out and get involved with this crowd, guess what? You're gonna follow that crowd. So with me, it was just looking up to a cousin, seeing what he was doing, not getting the discipline that I needed at the time. So now I'm seeing what he's doing, how he's driving, what he's wearing. This is what I want to be. And that goes back to role models being in the house. If there's no role models in the house, you're gonna pick and choose what you want to be. So you're gonna look at this person. I want to be that. I want to be that. Yeah, you have some that's successful because they had them role models there. They had discipline. They had that rod getting put on. But then you have some kids that didn't. Parents just let them go out, hang out all type of night, do this, just be back in the house. They're not worried about what the kids doing. So when you're not worried about what the kids doing, the kids gonna do what they want to do, and they're gonna follow who they want to follow. And that's gonna involve them again in things that they shouldn't be in. So the thing is, like today, you have young boy, you have all this rap music that they listening to, and you have the parents that also living this life. But instead of letting them listen to young boy playing video games on the phone all day, how much do you teach them in that Bible? Do you get up and put them in church on Sundays? That's what we're feeling.
Wow. Oh God, man, you said a whole lot. Then, Leroy, you want to chime in on that? Your thoughts, sure.
I think, he's right on. But me, with my program, and we have kids addressing their goals, set goals. Because when the kids set a goal, we understand what the kid wants to become, and then we can keep them accountable to the goals that they set for themselves. And that's going to build a relationship with the mentor and the mentee. And then we could connect with those parents to let your son say he want to be a football player. Your son said he want to be a doctor. Your son said he want to be a truck driver. So we guide him through the steps to navigate to be what he wants to become. Choices, decisions, consequences, habits, character. That's what my program is about, and that's how my program has been successful, by finding what the kid wants to become. Just like you said, you seen your cousins, so you want to be that.
Right.
You want to be that. A lot of my family, was on the ledge of selling dope, but I had goals myself, what I wanted to be. So I followed my, it was like, well, I'm going to follow my goals.
Right.
And my grandmother and my mom kept me in church as well. So all of those are factors to being the person I am today. So we got to get back to seeing what these kids want to become when they get older, and help them achieve attainable goals.
Wow. Let me ask you this, Andre, because I feel like when we look at our lives, me, you, Marcus, Jason, we know what it means. At the age of 14, you found yourself incarcerated. I was reading an Instagram post from a young guy. I never met him before, but he made a post to all of his friends. He had 2 mistrials for attempted murder. And he made a post on Instagram. I never met him. I read the post, and the post talked about, to all of my friends, this is not where you want to be. I thought I was a gangster. I thought I was a thug. I thought it meant a lot carrying guns, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. He went on and on and on. And it really brought me to a place of tears. So I wanted to know, who was this young man? And after I found out who he was, I went to visit him. Simply because his message was a message of the life I thought I was living. I never thought that these consequences would be a part of it. What would you say when you look at going to prison at 14, doing 32 years? What would you say to parents? What would you say to even I mean, I don't know why they said it's YN thing, but but
It's
what
the way.
there's a way.
That's
So
the
what
way.
would you say to the YN? They don't have respect no more. I mean, what would you say?
Okay. I'd like to feed on that first question first when I go into that.
Okay.
I definitely was a follower with leadership qualities.
Wow. Can
And
stop right there. A follower. Darren Mason, you got to chime in on this. I'm gonna come back, Mr. Austin. I'm gonna come back. But you just said a follower with leadership qualities. Is that what we're seeing in the streets with our young boys?
Definitely. And to that point, that's my story. You know,
You ain't go to jail, did you?
no.
Okay. I ain't know that part of it.
No.
Okay.
Of how I became a student menace to a student leader. And I was angry, parents going through a divorce. I stuttered real bad. I couldn't see the board, so every time the teacher called my name, I ain't saying nothing or trying to do something to divert or cause a distraction within the class. And so for me, I didn't understand. I had to figure it out. But that's what I saw everybody else do, right? And so, but it wasn't until I got called into the vice principal office because I got into a fight, and that was just a normal thing. Like you said, then I got to figure out something with you because I got parents calling me, asking me why these good kids, that why they are excited to go to detention every Tuesday and Thursday with this boy named Darren.
Wow.
And I said, huh? And she said, Darren, you're a leader, but you are following people that you should not be with because she had my brother the year before. So my parents never called me the problem child, but they called me the challenge child because I had all these challenges, right? And so she said, but I know your people, I know your family, I know everything that y'all going through, but your brother came from the same house. He's straight A's, just very respectful, but there's a leadership in you. And she said, so I'm going to abolish detention. I'm going to create a program, and I'm going to bring in people that just like you and help you deal with that and tap into your leadership.
Wow.
And so to your point, that's exactly what's going on, is that there's a lot of leaders that are following.
Wow. And I wanted to pause there because when we look at our young men, our juveniles, when we see what's happening, they have leadership qualities, but they're followers. And you said it best. Go ahead on. I mean, I just had to plug in on that because, I mean, I think that was all of us.
And like you said, they got the leadership qualities, but they got to seek out their identity, their purpose. But with me, I honestly say that I was crying out. And I ran into one of my mom's friends when I first got out. And she called out something that I ain't really identified with when she said it. Nobody pays you no attention. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of kids get that. They are not being intended to. And they running out doing what they want to do. They got different ways of crying out. And you might think that the situation that you may be getting into is just that serious, but it's not that serious. But in your head and the way you feel like you can gain the attention that you want, you'll do anything. But one thing you must know that it's not no video game. It ain't no reset. Because at 14 years old, did I really know what I was doing? Not absolutely not at all. I found myself incarcerated, crying out. And when I realized how serious it was nobody there. There wasn't no mom, wasn't no dad there. And a lot of times what the kids don't realize, and what I know that I was dealing with, I didn't know how to process my feelings. I had a mother on crack, did drugs, so on, I love my mom. But at the same time, that's my situation. And a lot of kids going through that same situation right now, and they don't know how to process their feelings. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that got to be, in tune to. As a kid, you got to realize one day you will be wrong. And hey, once you do it, once you cross that line, ain't no turning back. Your mom can't save you, dad can't save you, ain't nobody can save you. And you find yourself being just like me, 32 years later, not even knowing that you will ever get out. And it happens.
Wow. And I want to stick a pin in that, Andre, because I think what we all recognize is that there is a lot of, as you said, Leroy, trauma. There's a lot of mental health instabilities that are going on. And it's guys like you all that are here with me today that are the real problem solvers. And we're going to talk about this before this show ends, because we've got to get to the table. I mean, we got to get to the table so that those who are looking at the situation from the 12th floor can see how it looks on ground level. I mean, to hear Andre and to hear what he says, he needs to be at a table saying, here are ways to address what we're dealing with. We just can't keep locking up kids, throwing away the key. Jason, basically, you have had your own share of ins and out. What do you think that did for you?
It did a lot, once I sat down and realized what was going on. Being out there in the streets, selling drugs, this and that, you realize you're killing your community. So when I lost my mom in 22, and that really, I was woke, but that really woke me. That woke me up. Jason, go back to school. Jason, help the community. You done killed the community by selling drugs. Okay, so now it's time to get out here and feed these people, get these kids. I got a youth football team right now. And like I tell the parents, it's more than just teaching them football.
Come on now.
It's more teaching them football. Let's show them love. Let's take them places that they ain't never been. Show them different things. Show them there's ways of making money positive instead of just going out here looking at these guys doing this. So with my team, I show them love. I want to take them places. Have car washes, community cleanups. When I do my community feed up, I want them there to show them how fortunate they is. It's different ways of showing kids how to make money. Than, like I say, if they sit there and look, they're gonna see this person on the corner every time they see what this person driving, see what this person doing. That's what I want to be like. But you can be like that person in a positive way.
Right.
Wow.
Instead of going out there and doing what they doing, killing your community. Because when you're selling these drugs to these people, that's all you're doing, killing your community. But like I say, with these rap songs, they tell you, go out there, kill this person, go out there, sell this, but it don't tell you how much time you're gonna get behind this. Right? It's not gonna tell you can get incarcerated, you can lose your life behind this. It can't tell you somebody can come to your house and shoot it up and kill everybody, innocent people that's in there. So these days it's just like I say, it's more of showing these kids love. But there's some of them not getting the love in the house. So you show them love when they with you, lead them in the right direction. I was one of them kids out there lost. I had family, but I just wanted to be out there. But now, like I say, as I got older, it's more than that. It's about saving the community, saving these kids, helping these kids out.
Wow. I'm really at an awe. I'm really at an awe, and the reason why is because we are having these conversations ourselves. Many of us, we're talking among ourselves. We're seeing what we're seeing. We're not happy with what we're seeing, and we're doing all we can. Here you are back in the community being a transformer. You've created your own team. You do a lot of community events, and it's just hard to find partnership with the establishment, with those who have the available, ready resources, who want to say, we want to see our communities better. But there are people who are sitting in this room with me who are actively engaged and doing what they can with the 2 little fish and the 5 loaves of bread, hoping and praying that it turns into a buffet. But in the meantime, you're just going to keep doing what you're doing. Let's look at something that is very critical now. I got some statistics that show that juveniles have been a part of stolen vehicles, guns that have been retrieved from stolen cars. In 2024, 189 guns were stolen. 2025, the numbers increased to 191. Cars that were unlocked. Not only that now, but here's the sad part about where we are now. Right now, we're talking about this just off the top of my, this is not the real data, but 15 homicides have taken place this year. And they are 4 of them are between the ages of 17 and 20. We just saw what happened, and we're praying for those families with these juveniles that just took another juvenile life just not too long ago. So my question now is that when we look at our law enforcement, when we look at our state attorney office, when we look at the agencies that are out here trying to combat what our communities are facing, and we look at our own lives as being formerly incarcerated, once part of the problem, two amazing gentlemen with us, why is there such an hesitation when it comes to us working hand in hand with them to fix what's happening in our community?
Well,
Come on, put the
You're
mic
right.
to you.
the writing on the wall, real. I mean, if you look at it at the level where we've been at, they feel they know they need our help. I mean, for us, the community, for us to keep the people wanting to come to Tallahassee and see everything Tallahassee got in it, but they also feel kind of threatened because in the bureau now, people that got jackets like us, they're assistant directors now
Absolutely.
in the bureau, and that to me, that's the bottom line. Our influence. They say they love a story from where we were to where we at right now, but we can't tell.
Wow. Darren, your thoughts on that? I mean, why is it hard for just real men who have served time, men who have not even served time, but who want to make a difference? Why is it hard to create the partnerships with these agencies to help bring about some of the resolve? From your point of view now, the views and ideas are the views and ideas of the individuals that are on the show. It's no reflection to the station at all.
Right.
Well, we know. How many times have we been to in the room and in the meeting? It's always one. There's always one that's in that room that really is the ops. And I think that we get into rooms and we come by ourselves. I think in most of the times that when we are given the opportunities as a collective or that one person, we kind of forget about everybody else. And at the end of the day, it's about the bottom line and it's about the results and being able to show when we're having these conversations with people, and to make sure that when we get those opportunities, that we are making sure that we're doing everything that we can and bringing that in. I mean, it's been many times that we created programs and, brought folks on and they got a piece of the pie and ran with it, right?
Absolutely.
And so I think we have to get to a point where, and then we leave. They don't sleep. These agencies, they have a 20, 40-year plan. Sitting with them in session every year, it's the same thing. They have a mission, they have a goal, and they know who's going to be replaced. If you don't fall in line with what they do or their agenda, there's always somebody ready on the bench to replace. We have to have that same mindset as a community. We have to have set goals, set expectations, and we have to be able to trust and value each other and not be threatened or intimidated and be able to build, because these kids watching. The kids watch, the families watch, the community watch, and those that's in power watch too. So if they can find any way to infiltrate those that's within, then they would do. Their main job is to divide and to conquer. But whenever we can actually come to a place where we can be unified no matter what, and if there's somebody that is not falling in line with what the agenda is, we have to be okay to replace. But always building somebody up to move, because they don't sleep. I mean, I've been in meetings at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. How many times we got called to jump in, and they're always finding ways to keep their power. So we got to find ways to take power.
Wow, that's amazing you said that. And Leroy, I want to go to you about this because it just, when he said that, I thought about one of the young men that you were coaching. And I'm sure you've seen so much when it comes to law enforcement dealing with the kids.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've had so many kids that you had to, probably be their only father.
Yeah.
But there was a young man that you really wanted to save. He had been around the wrong guys, wrong time, and I think a robbery had taken place or something. I don't know what it was. But however, you did not stop until we were able to speak with the state attorney, plead for this guy. He was getting ready to graduate, and keep him out of prison for 15 years.
Yeah.
How often are you seeing that still? I mean,
It goes on. It's still going on. It's going on more often now because like the social media, the lack of support, parent support, the lack of resources. So yeah, it's going on a lot. So being a coach, you got to be a dad, you got to be a nurse, you got to be a teacher, you got to be a mentor, you got to be everything that these kids need because you are the one that they're going to spend most of their time with. They're going to be looking at you more than they see their parents. So with that being said, it's one day at a time. But we
all of us.
have to organize.
Wow.
We have to organize to get into these rooms. Based off your last question, we got to organize and go there together to say, okay, let's say you have a program, you got a program, you got a program, you got a program, you got a program. You got 100 kids in your program. You got a different 100 kids in your program. You got 100 kids in your program. You got 100 kids. You got 100 kids. That's 500 kids
that we have now put in a place of where there's
Structure.
accountability, there's structure,
Yes.
and it's much better to invest
Come
in
on now.
that
Come on now.
than to invest in more
Yeah. I've been seeing it. I've been in it now for the last 3 years. And I see what's needed. The organization of different organizations. And then you go, okay, let's say you can't get 100, you get 30, you get 30, you get 30. Okay, that's still a lot of kids that your 30 could reach another 30. Your 30 could reach another 30. Your 30 could reach another 30. Mine could reach another. And then we go, we organize, we do everything right. We go to, the powers to be.
Gotcha.
Come on. And to piggyback off what Leroy said, and what we was talking about earlier about the others that have organizations, the ones that are selfish and not willing to come together and partner, don't know that funders love partnership.
Right.
And I know that for being mentored and coached in the grant writing. And coach walk us through all it and show us in real time, not just by just telling us by what he and others that he mentored have done, have accomplished together. And that's one of the problems I see far as the lack of one to partner. Like us right here. I know it's all real right here. You know what I mean? And I even though I never met you guys, we done been in the I done been in one of the rooms with you before. But Reverend Holmes said it when that community call to action that over the Bethel about a couple of years ago. He said a lot of people want funding, but they're not active.
Come on now.
And
Wow.
that's that partnership is everything. And I know that's what funders, and I ain't talking about just local funders, because it go beyond just the local fund. You know what I mean? It's funds that's outside of the local that's gracefully willing to do that quicker than just because they know you're a real person, they know you're active in your program, and they can see it on your website.
As we look at, and I gotta really dive into this because law enforcement is key. I mean, all of us who are sitting here know what it means to be in respect of law enforcement. But when we look at our YNs today, there's no respect whatsoever. How do you think we would be seen or viewed working hand in hand with law enforcement to bring about necessary change? Andre, I'll start with you. And the only reason I'm gonna say this, start with you, because I mean, you know what your story has been, and I'm sure after 32 years, you've been spending time thinking about how can I make my community better. I'm sure you've written programs, you got things you're ready to roll out because you've seen something that have given that transformative mindset. How do you think we are viewed when we decide that we're going to work hand in hand with our law enforcement agencies who once had us in shackles? Now we are working to correct some of the problems.
Well, the first thing I'll say, you can't compromise. Like if you actually out there advocating for the kids and doing things in your community, they can't see you over there doing something other outside of what you're supposed to be doing.
Wow.
And the first time you do that, you done lost it. I mean, it don't take them one time. So now it's almost like saying that they can't trust you. So I mean, there's no other way to see it. And
I got to stop you there because Coach Fuller just chimed in.
Yeah.
He said the kids must know that we care before they go all in.
exactly.
And I think that goes back to all of us understanding that they got to know they can trust you.
Yeah, you could talk about you care, but you got to show that you care.
Mm.
And even when we not getting the right funding or the right help, you still got to persevere.
Correct.
We still got to push. Like each and every one of you brothers that got y'all program doing what y'all do. I mean, it's good to say we need funding, but you still just got to keep pushing. Just keep pushing, man. They're gonna fall in place, and we stay prayed up, and we take that thing to the Lord. I promise you, man, we'll get what we're looking for, and that's where it all started at.
Now you were teaching and I did it as likewise, and I'm sure you did it likewise. You were teaching inside of the facility, men, a program.
Yes, sir.
Talk a little bit about that. I mean, because your whole growth period took place inside of the structured environment of prison. How did you get men to respect you, to sit in a class and listen to you when you had a number and they had a number?
Like I said, you walk. You know, when people see you care, they believe you care. Which, like I said, I started a program in there called Breathe, which is the acronym for Best Remember Everything and Always Think Healthy. And it was divided on 5 different topics that we discussed. It's like a classroom setting. And a lot of times when you talk to a group of people, you want to get feedback. And you want to actually have important topics that really matters.
Mhm.
And when you really could engage and get people actually waking up and talking about realistic conversations, you'll be amazed what you get out of that, man. You have so many men crying and releasing and allowing themselves to be vulnerable. And that's what it's gonna take, man. You got to unlock some emotions that we've been hiding and running from all our lives. And once you could tap in right there, I think you can make something happen. And that was the key to the program, you know what I'm saying? Just like having real conversations, not no shoo-shoo stuff, man. We ain't playing. This is not a game. You know what I'm saying? Because like I feel like this, you know, when it come down to the church and we talk about saving souls, everything that we do, if I give you a bottle of water, I'm preserving you to save your soul. And like I said, the body made up of many members, and everything that we do and everything that we engage in is all come back collectively. So it's the body, and we got to stay focused on that.
Wow, I want to get y'all. Go ahead. Don't let me lose this thought, because I think that there are a lot of things that are going on with these YNs that we see carrying guns and going to school campuses, and it's locked up inside. You said you was able to tap into what was locked up, and therefore real conversation was released. I think we're missing that in our communities with you made it clear, hey, man, I got a bad stuttering problem. My mom them going through something. I can't see what. So the frustration that was inside of you, nobody was able to tap into it. So you acted out. So when we got gang shooting at the football game and then they retaliating, something is going on. Jason, Darren, go ahead. Chime in.
Yeah, so to answer your question about the law enforcement and to work with them, first we have to be patient, right? And understand that it is an institution. And so we have to humanize the institution as well as start the conversation of them humanizing the community as well, right? So it's all about the stats and the numbers and how you just said the crime and 15 homicides, but there's a reason why. There's a reason why that these things are happening. And so, and I've been in the rooms and worked with groups and organized many times, and a lot of times the organizers get frustrated. They come with all these high demands from the with law enforcement and expect things to be done.
Are they realistic?
Overnight, and to my point, that aren't realistic, right? So then they get frustrated, then they go back and spill this toxic energy back in the communities of don't trust, which a lot of times when I work with a lot of these YNs is that they're in survival mode.
Correct.
Wow.
They're in generational survival mode. That's past trauma that's been passed from uncle, nephew, son, all this trauma that's going on, and they don't feel a safe space nowhere. So we have to be able to, and I learned this when we did our program, the Michael 2 program, is that you don't take on that responsibility of just mentoring that child.
No, you got to do
Because a
that.
lot of times that we just like John, we like Tim, we like her, you know, we like that child, and we commit to the child. You got to commit to the community. You got to commit to the village, because in order to be part of the village, you got to tap in and meet them where they are. But you got to be able to know Mama JoJo, Keisha, the son that's incarcerated, the daddy that's MIA, all these things that you got to be able to be in that mentality to understand, but also being able to articulate that with the people, with law enforcement as well. There's been plenty of times where somebody's about to get incarcerated or about to get locked up, but because they knew Mr. Mason, is this one of your boys? Is this one of your kids?
Mhm.
Yes, it is. Well, come meet us at the station now. How many times have we got those calls
Absolutely.
that we had to go into speak on the behalf of not just that person or that family, the entire community. This community needs, that's the opportunity that I take. Well, since we're here, I need patrol cars around. I've been telling y'all about what's been going on. We've been telling you that there's a gang that's brewing. Y'all ignore our calls, but if you don't, well, you know, this is the result that's going to happen. But also be patient to where when things that don't happen, that we don't stop and then we don't spit that back into the community and take on that role of the response. That responsibility is very key.
Absolutely. Jason, I want to ask you this because you've been doing a lot of work in the Basin, the 4th Avenue, and the Macomb area. And I mean, you do something that I feel like is phenomenal, man. I mean, once a year, you kind of like try to bring everybody together at 4th Avenue, picnic, just a good time, but it also carries with it some positive energy to let people see you in a different light. They know the Jason of back then.
Right.
They know that Jason, but now Jason is trying to unite the community, bring everybody together, and we can't control what everybody do, but if we're able to bring everybody together, then we're able to put our message out there, and if we put our message out there, we're able to change some lives. How difficult has that been with you when it comes to just working with people in positions of authority and power? And you do that on your own.
It's difficult. You know, you have a lot of people saying they're gonna be there, they're gonna help. But when it comes down, everybody disappears because don't nobody want that to fall on them. Like when I did the Northside reunion, if anybody would have got killed, it would have fell on me. But I took it upon myself to take that chance.
And to educate people that we not gonna have guns out here. And you had to do that.
And that's one of the prep talks that everyone that was, well, not everyone, but people from the community, from Basin Street, from Joe Lewis, from 4th Avenue.
The influencers.
Yes, I had to sit down and tell them, like, listen, this is our community. If you see something going on, I need you to step in there. Listen, we're not doing that. And I had a couple of people do that. I had a couple of people didn't, but I just took it upon myself because I feel like that's something that we need for all of us to get together to show, not just to show, but to show people that we can do this. You know, give us a chance. Let us get a chance to do something on our own. Y'all don't want to do it. All y'all want to do is lock us up. So give somebody out the community a chance just to see what we can do with them. And I went ahead, put my foot out there, and I went forward with it, and it was a success.
Yeah, it's kind of like not too long ago on the South Side. Coach Fuller was there. I was there. I'm looking at him. He runs the restaurant. He has the food truck. Main man. And he brought all the South Side, him and the community. They all had at Holton Street. Nice event. I mean, nice. Everybody came together. You got a lot of positive opportunity to have conversation. Got a chance to see people to say, hey, I need you to get involved. As a matter of fact, I ran across about 15, 20 people hadn't registered to vote. And they asked me, was you running for office? I said, no, but I need you to go register to vote because whether I run or not, your vote is important. And believe me, a couple of days later, they called, they said, hey, man, I went and registered. So it's events like this in the community that community influencers put together that can have the transformative power, even with law enforcement present, not to have their chests out and their guns showing, but to just have the friendly environment that we're in. You was about to say something.
And that had to be history because it looked real good too. I'm talking about I seen it on I ain't know it was happening.
Oh, on the south side.
I didn't know it was happening, right? And I got partners and stuff, but I when I got not seeing them, like now I'm trying to see a whole bit because it's a whole vibe just looking at it. And I know like ain't too many people expect this to turn out successful with no noise.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, we know the areas, you know what I'm
And
saying?
if you look back on it, Houghton Street had one, South Side had
Yeah.
one, North Side
Bum,
had
bum,
one.
bum.
You didn't have no violence.
And it was like
So
back to back.
what is it gonna take for us to keep showing these people to let us do our thing? We had no violence at neither one of them. Everyone turned out good. So what is it gonna take?
Okay, so I'm gonna get Leroy and then I'm gonna get Andre on this and then Darren. So here, listen to what you just said, and I want to think about it. South side, north side, Holder Street, who else? And
That's really
that's it. That's Tallahassee. Now, out of each one of those segments, there is at least 20 guys that are influencers, that are OGs, that have probably been to jail, prison, but now entrepreneurs. What happened if 20 guys from each one of these communities come together, organize to say, hey, listen, if we're going to save our community, coming together to have barbecues and picnics, that's just one of the things. Now we got to knock on doors and see what parents are doing. Now we got to knock on doors and see what their children are doing. Leroy, Andre, and then Marcus, your thoughts. What do you think the impact of that?
Basically, just organize. You got to show the data, show to the people that was there, help them sign, let them sign in, and then connect. All right, this is your event, Holton Street. This is your event on Southside. This is your event, and then y'all can come together with those numbers, because numbers equals dollars, and then y'all can go to the people to say, hey man, we had this event, this amount of time. And then they will be, and then y'all will speak what y'all want from them to fund your program, to keep funding that program, because y'all are the ones saving the community, helping saving the community, or helping the police save the community.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Andre.
I remember back in the days when Holder Street and Bay Street were going through it, and the Urban League came together and made a song. So it's all type of different avenues and methods that we can put forward to try to bring everybody together. But like you say, connecting those dots and really reaching the men. And let me say this, I also had started another program in prison called Mentors the Men. And what it was based on, men talking to men, for men to start championing the cause to reach our kids. Because like I say, we talk about that leadership in them kids, man, but men got some leadership going on now too that they don't know they have.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us need to be awakened. And so when we can start having real conversations, we can start, hey, man, bro, but you powerful, man. You got something going on. Guess what? You can start talking to other men, you can start talking to kids. So guess what? What you saying, it ain't just reaching the circle, it reaching the world. And I think that's the most important thing that we got to start doing. Like I said, having realistic conversation, networking, and pushing it out there, man. The message is real.
Absolutely. Mark.
What it all boiled down to, and saying the same thing, tying in everything. We had a men's conference about 2 years ago, and the brother and 4 peers came down and said, men got to be willing to have a conversation. A lot of things can be avoided if a conversation would have been had.
Right.
Prison time arguments or whatever could have been avoided if men would have been willing to have a conversation. And that's what it all tied into right now. Men as a whole got to be willing to have a conversation.
Absolutely.
And if we're willing to have a conversation, we'll have progress.
It's pride.
So with the few minutes that we have left, I think one of the major problems that we're seeing with these YNs is that they don't know how to resolve conflict. And they are feeling and believing that a gun is the answer. And once they carry it and caught with it, it's a problem. God forbid if they shoot, it's a problem. And God forbid if the bullet touches someone and they're injured. I don't think they understand the consequences. I don't think they understand the consequences of guns on campus.
It's not told to them. It's told to carry that gun and go kill that person. But like I said before, it's not told when you shoot that gun, you're gonna get 10 years. It's not told when you kill that person, you're gonna do the rest of your life. But it's all cool to carry it. It's like it's
So if it's not told, how do we tell it?
like I said, we got to connect the dots. We got to become as one and go reach out to the youth. Like I say, everybody that been somewhere in here. A lot of people look up to us because they know we done did what they doing.
All we know their family, all we know their daddy, all we know their mama.
Right.
We know, well, I know your mama. But I know your daddy. What you doing out here with this gun on you? Where you get it from? Those are not bad questions to ask, am I, Aunt Allen?
Not at all.
Those are not tough questions to ask.
And that's one of the problems. How they getting them so easy now? It's easy to get a gun now.
Yeah.
And
A
can I add
sophisticated
to
gun.
that too? Because there was a time in Tallahassee that the youth were able to do and enjoy life and go to any parts of town. I recently talked to Bud. I said, Bud, what was so impactful about that time? And he said, Mr. Mason, we was able to go anywhere. It didn't matter if you was from Joe Louis, Macon, South City, Houghton Street. Like any of us can be friends and do anything. He told me that now is different. That wherever you are, wherever you're from, wherever you rep or you commit to, that's where you are. And most of the time that I work with those kids, they was living in fear.
They're scared.
Wow.
Living in trauma. And the issue, because you can organize all day. I've been doing that for the past 15 years. You can work with the families and get the buy into. That's not hard. It just frustrates me when people think us as a community, as Black people, that we're just these savages that don't have no common sense, no love, that we're not nurtured, that we're like, that's who we are naturally as a people. But the frustration part is the trust of those that are in power, and that we have to apply pressure to them. And we have to organize and to bridge and to communicate to the power that we have as people. Even if you have been incarcerated, which is a testimony here, or whatever your past is, in the present, you have power, you have value, because a lot of times, and I'm gonna be honest, I was burnt out. Like I'm just getting back in. People been asking me for the past 5 years, where the heck you been? We did the work. We seen the results. But the community stopped trusting when you coming back empty-handed. Mr. Mason, I went through your program. I see Miss Quita all the time that went through our program, who got the degree, who got everything, is still in the same
and you know what? And this was a mother who had three sons, who started, they were in Joe Louis.
Mm-hmm.
This is an amazing story. And we wasn't getting funded.
Nope.
I just had a vision. I just didn't want to see kids end up in prison. So we started Michael. Mentoring is changing a heart. Darren was the director. This family had three sons, and each one of them had a mentor. The mother had no education, wasn't concerned about it until Darren said, "We're teaching your kids, and you're not interested." She woke up, went to school.
Now she's working at the library at TSC, and
no, not only that. First, she got
she got
got
her
a culinary
GED.
degree.
No, she got her GED.
GED.
She got her culinary first. She got her AA. She's about to graduate.
Then we made her a homeowner.
She's a homeowner, and she's about to get her bachelor's in about a year. Jim Michael, who's my mentee, is just graduated from basic training in the Air Force. The middle son, he is in trucking. He's learning how to run his own business in Charlotte, and the oldest one played college ball.
Yeah.
And so, but to that point, now we're still having that same conversation. Now she has two other young ones. And it's like, we did everything, Mr. Mason. Everything that y'all said to do, Joe Louis, they did everything. That was a prime example of when I came in, and my ignorance was my strength. Because he said, Mason, you don't know what you're going on. I don't even need to know, but I'm here. when we were told that it's one way in and one way out, and that this wasn't going to work. By the time we got done, palm trees, grass, the whole community transformed, making it look good. South City, everything was just in the community. We had the buy-in. I worked in Pine Hills and Rosemont in Orlando, same thing. In Jacksonville, the same thing. West Palm Beach, the same thing. We can get the community buy-in, but it's when we as leaders come back empty-handed because those that are in power are not supporting. That trust stops there too. So we now have to apply the pressure because now a lot of us have the knowledge. We are in these rooms. We are able to have these conversations and make these phone calls. We have to apply the pressure to those that are in power and let them know this is what we're trying to do. And if you don't want to do it, we will get the community.
That's right. Absolutely. Hey, listen, man, this has been amazing. Time flies when you're having good conversation. Hey, I want to take the next 30 seconds with each one of you men. There are thousands of people listening to us. I mean, there are thousands upon thousands, at least minimum 10 listening right now. But with the thousands of people that are listening, and there's some mothers who have some kids who are just saying, I don't know what to do. There's some situations that's going on. Those kids who got caught with guns on campus, they belong to some family. They're superintendents, they're school board members, law enforcement, judges, city attorneys, commissioners, they're listening. What would you say in the last 30 seconds of this conversation to them about what we bring to the table as great value? Starting with you, Leroy.
So what would I say to the parents or to
the whole entire faith community? I mean, just to all the listeners, and it's a mixture. What would you say the value that we bring when we look at the problems that we're facing, especially with our YNs?
The value is unlimited. We bring family support, child, helping child to identify their goals. So the value is unlimited. With all of us working together, with my program, their program working, it's unlimited. To any particular child.
Okay. All right. Marcus, value.
We have brothers like us with experience through all walks of life, incarceration, brothers that have not been incarcerated but grew up in the hood. And they see us weather all of them storms from where we used to be to where we at right now and pouring out. I think it's a no-brainer not to get behind us and support, because I got a prophetic word this morning that said, let's focus on who support versus the ones who don't support, and we'll fly.
Wow.
Well, I say, well, when you understand how something functions, you respect how it operates, man. Pay attention to the cries, man. Everybody got a way they cry. Just pay attention to it. Don't always just listen, but hear it from your heart. That's what I got to say.
Jason.
I got to tell you, love these kids. Sit down, talk to them, see what's going on in their life. Go through phones, go through, just see what's going on. Like I say, you never know what they're going through, mental health. They could be going through something at school, bullying, anything. Figure out your child. If you see a child in need, talk to them. They don't have to be their parent. If you just anywhere, you see a child going through it, talk to them, see what's going on with them. You might be able to help.
Wow. Derek?
It's not political, it's personal. So if you care, if you see these challenges, find somebody, register to vote, get involved, learn these laws, learn these policies, see these people who are in office, that are in power, and organize you, your family, and your communities, and get these jokers about you.
Wow. Hey, listen, it's been an amazing show, crime education. One of the things that we're going to give you as a takeaway is going to take all of us as a village to bring victory, because the village now has become vicious and nobody's winning. So at the end of the day, there's a lot of fear that we find that's going on with families. There's a lot of fear that's going on with our children. How do we break the fear? We got to get everybody to the table. And we got to understand that there's more than one way to get to Miami. So let's figure out the different routes that we're going to travel to get to our destination. Hey, this has been the Greg James Show, and we look forward to you joining us next week. And I look forward to hearing from you. Listen, if any of you are looking, anybody you know somebody who's looking to hire someone, I got about 6 guys who I want to put my stamp of approval on. They need jobs and they want to work. give me a call, DM me, and let's see how we can make a change in our community. Until then, y'all be blessed.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So,
sir.
Good, man. You already know, man. You know, same thing. Same thing.